We know that functions are used to combine many different actions into a single process, and it's generally going to be used over and over again. I've already mentioned that a loop was to do the same thing over and over again, like walking, but a function is made up of, like with triathletes, walking, running, swimming, cycling. So there's all these different kind of things that need to move together. Now, the first thing we need to do to declare or define a function is we type in def. And I'm just going to type in my function, and I'm going to use the brackets, colon. And we've now defined my function. I'm going to just type pass just to pass everything else, and you'll now see that we have declared our first function. And just to make sure, we've typed in my func and press enter, and there we are. With functions, we can get something back, and we use the command return. So return is a way to return something back from a function and is a form of an output. Arguments are used for inputs into functions, and return is used for outputs. So let's continue with this, and I'm going to say def get number, and I'm then going to use the word return. So return is going to be our form of our output, and I'm going to make this the number 5, or the integer 5. So let's now continue and say x is equal to get number, and I'm now going to say print x, and we now have the output of 5. We have two different types of arguments. The first is a regular argument, and these could be made up of numbers, strings, variables, and a lot of other things as well. Keyword arguments, however, have an equal sign, and they basically declare a variable within the arguments that we're going to be using for later. So let's start this off, and I'm going to say, so we're going to say define, and I'm going to have a function add 20, and let's say myInt. So the next thing we're going to have to do is myInt is going to be equal to 20, and I'm going to return myInt. So now let's say x is equal to 100, and y is going to be equal to add 20 with x. So if I now say print y, I get an answer of 120, because the add 20 was that number over there, 20, and x was 100, so 100 plus 20 is equal to 120. Sometimes we want to add comments. Comments actually don't do anything within the code itself, and generally they're going to be used for little notes to yourself, or perhaps to other programmers who are helping you write this. And we use the hashtag when we do the comments, and the code completely ignores everything that is written after the hashtag. One of the other things that it's quite useful for is for actual debugging. I'm going to use exactly the same thing, and this time I'm going to say let's define get number 2, and after this I'm going to type in hashtag, and I can then literally say anything I like after this. Because it doesn't become part of the code, it's a little sort of something for you to remind you what you're busy doing. So I'm then going to say return, I'm going to make this time 10, doesn't make any difference, and then what I would like to do is do the same thing, and once I'm finished I'm going to press enter. It has an output of 10. So this thing that we have hashtagged, which is our comment, doesn't become part of the code at all.